Here is a sum. So the first one we have 3 over 3, 5 over 3 plus 2 over 8. So the first thing to do here, you have to make the denominators look the same. That's the first thing to do when you're dealing with a sum like this, when you're adding fractions. Always make the denominator the same. So how do we do that? You take 3 times 8, 5 times 8, and on the other side, you times 3 by 8 and 2 by 3. So let's get into it. Equal, okay, what is 3 times 8? That gives us 24. And 5 times 8, that gives us 40. Yeah, so that 0 was very big, sorry. 40, yes. That is 8 times 3, 24. Can you see that the denominators are now the same? When the denominators are the same, we are now allowed to add the numerators, which is 4 plus 6. But in the denominators, we don't add it anymore because they are now the same. We're just gonna take it as is. 46 over 24. We now make a one big sum. So that's the answer. But it does not stop there. If it's possible, it's always good to write the answer in the mixed fraction or to write it in simplest form if it's possible. So how many times does 24 go in 20 in 46? At once, right? You're gonna write 1 on the side and the remaining numbers you write it at the top. Yes. Still need to simplify it. The number's still big. So here's something to note, important one. So when you get 24, just take the 1 away. But when you get 24, you divide it by 22 in the fraction form. The answer would be 12 over 11. So you just punch it in there. 12 over 11. Here is the mixed fraction. Here we go. That's correct. Okay guys, here's the next sum. So what we have here, it's x over 7 plus 1 over 9. Always keep this in mind. When you are adding fractions, it's always good for you to add the denominators, to make the denominators the same before doing anything. It's always important to make the denominators the same. The denominators denominator the the same. Very important. Make the denominator the same before adding anything. Yes. So let's start now. Let's equal. Now you get 7 times 9 and at the top as well. 6 times 9. Now, do you see how you do it? The easiest way to click it in, when you just get the denominators, you times it across each other. The denominator of the side, you times it by the other side, and on the other side as well, another denominator. You see that? Okay, equal 7 times 9. That gives us 63. So 6 times 9, that would be 54. So guys, when you're doing this, the denominators will always be the same. If your denominator it's not look the same, does not look the same, that means something is wrong. You see that if you take 9 times 7, the answer would be 63. And 1 times 7 at 7. Yeah. Now, when you're done putting all the denominators the same, now what you do next, you add the numerators. You add it all together, 54 plus 7, and at the bottom, you just take it as is, 63. You don't add it, but you just write it over again as one number. Why? Because it's the same. 54 plus 7, it's 61, and we get 63 as a denominator. Why that? Because the denominators on both sides are the same. That leads us to the next question. 6 over 7 plus 2 over 5. Okay, what we're doing first, we're putting the denominators the same. Always first put denominator, the denominator, the same. Yeah, always do that first before moving any further. So that's equal. Put everything down, yeah. But you're just gonna plug it in. Okay, now you take 7 times 5. 6 times 5. I hope you know where that 5 is coming from. 5 times 7. I hope you know where that 7 is coming from. Yes. 5 times 7, it's 35. 35. So 6 times 5, that would be 30. And 5 times 7, that would be 35 as well. Can you see that? The denominators will always be the same if you're multiplying with the same denominators. They just cross at each other. Okay, 2 times 7, that's 14. Okay, now the denominators are the same. We're just gonna add the top numbers, which are numerators, and the bottom one we're just gonna leave it as is. We're just gonna write it one number. So 30 plus 14, 44, and 35. You just write it as is. Nothing changes. Do not make any mistake by adding it. You just leave it like that. Why? Because the denominators are now the same. Then we write it in mixed fraction because it's possible. How many times does 35 go in 44? Once. you write 35 at the bottom, and the remaining numbers, you write it at the top. 9 numbers remain to reach 44. Yes. Next one. 9 plus 2 over 7. Denominators first. Put it the same. You see that? Yeah. Denominator denominator must always be the same. Guys, this is the first rule, one of the rules to consider when you're doing this, when you're adding fraction. Always add the denominator. That is the most important rule in fraction adding. Without you putting the denominators the same, you're not going to get your marks. Obviously, your answer will be wrong, completely wrong. Yeah. The denominator, the same. Okay, let's start with our calculation. Equal plus, yeah, 9 times 7, 2 times 7. Can you see where that 7 come from? The 7 at the bottom, of the number 2, and the 9 at the bottom the number at the bottom of the number 2. We just cross it around each other and then multiply both sides. That's how we get our denominators. Basically, it's like the short way of getting the denominators. But we also have multiple ways on how to get the denominators the same. Okay, 9 times 7, 63, and 2 times 7, 14, and 7 times 9, 63. Yes, 2 times 9, that's 18. Guys, I hope that makes sense to you. You might, maybe you learn how to add how to make the denominators look the same in different ways. But what I'm teaching you here, it's one of the quickest way to apply, quickest method to apply when doing your exam. Yes, because it will help you save more time. 14 plus 18, it's 32. The denominators, we write it as is. Nothing add. So 32 over 63, it's just gonna stay like that. Because why? Because it's an improper, sorry, it was a proper fraction. The big number was on, the smallest number was on, at the top, and the big number at the bottom. So that was a proper fraction. The next one, 9 over 2 plus 1 over 5. So 2 times 5, 9 times 5, and 5 times 2, and 1 times 2. Yes, so that would be 10. That's 45. 5 times 2, that's equal to 10. Sorry, and 1 times 2, that's equal to 2. Now here's the catch. Denominators are now the same. We don't worry about that. We only worry about the numerators. We add them together, and the denominators, we write it as is. We just take one number, 45 plus 2 So 45 plus 2 equal to 47. And we just write 10 at the top, at the bottom, as a denominator. So we write 10 at the bottom. How many times 10 goes into 47? 4 times, right? What are the remaining numbers when 10 go into 47 4 times? 40. The remaining numbers would be, take a guess, 7. You're correct. Do you understand how that works? How to write the number in a mixed fraction? Whenever a teacher asks you to write the fraction in a mixed fraction, use that method. How many times does a number go into the number? And the remaining number, you write it at the bottom. How many times does the number go in? You write it aside. So always remember, always, always to write your answer in simplest form. Always remember that, learners, to write your answers in simplest form or in fixed, mixed, sorry, I just make a mistake there, mixed fraction, if possible. Remember always to write your answer in simplest form or in mixed fraction, if possible. Remember always to write your answer in simplest form or in mixed fraction, if possible. Sorry for the F. I made a mistake there. This leads us to the next question, which is 8 over 2 plus 3 over 8. You do everything, okay? Equal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's do this. Can you see we already have 8, the denominator, and we also have 2 here as a denominator. So there's no need for us to just multiply it across each other, no. Because we know 2 times 4 would be 8, right? So there's no need for us to go like 2 times 8 and 8 times 2, no. You just take the 2, we times it by 4, because you know when we multiply 2 by 4, we're going to get 8 as a denominator. I just write it down for you. Multiply by 4 on one side only. Multiply by 4 on one side only. And then get 8 as a denominator. You get 8 as a denominator. Why? You can ask yourself, why are we doing that? The reason is because it is possible. Yes, if it is possible to get the denominator to make 2 8, so it's possible. Just do that, because there's no time to waste to work with big numbers and so on. No, you just take 2 times 4, 8. Easy, easy and peasy. You take it simple. I hope you get that. So 8, sorry, times 4, that would be 8. Do you see that? 8. We get 8 one time. And 8 times 4, that would be 32. 32. And here on the other side, we just write the the numbers as is. 3/8. Why? Because we couldn't multiply it to get the denominator. Because this is already our biggest denominator, which would possible make it a denominator 8. When we times by 2, we get 8. So, blah, blah, blah. We take now 32 plus 3. We just write 8 at the bottom again. And 32 plus 3, which is 35. Yes. Now, here comes the problem. I'll show you again how to write the number in the mixed fraction. So next time, you'd probably get it right. So, write the improper fraction. Sorry, convert the improper fraction to mixed fraction. Okay, that seems like a question to you, right? Okay, that's a question. So I just ask you a question. Okay, you convert this improper fraction to mixed fraction. You do that. How do you do that? Okay, just leave your answer in the comment. But don't worry, it's fine. I'll help you here. Okay, you take 8. You write it at the bottom. Then, how many times does 8 goes into 35? How many times does 8 go in 35? How many times? You got it right? It's a question. We're working together, guys. It's a question. How many times does 8 go in 35? And the remaining number go at the top. The remaining number go at the top. But don't forget that. How many times does 8 go into 35? That number, you write it side. You write it on the other side. Yes. So how many times does 8 go in 35? It's 4 times. You see that? How many times does it go in 35? 4 times. And the remaining number go at the top. You get that? Yes. So how many times does it go to 35? It's 4 times, which is 32. And to reach 35, it's how many numbers we need? Just 3 more numbers. 32, 33, 34, 35. Here we go. Correct. Thank you guys for watching this video. Just don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Thank you so much.